Hello, anyone tuning in to this here transmission. It is I, Zycon, Ebb and Flow. Still doing it, still loving life. I think this is one's 39, because I did 38, and hopefully I'll even put the thumbnail on the screen for you from last week, or it hasn't even been released yet. So today is the fucking, oh my god, I think it is the 16th? Pretty sure it's the 16th of April. And episode 39, sitting down with Nic
Trevino. Nic Trevino. No, you're good.
I'm fucking
it's all right. I just got booked on a show, actually, and they spelt my name completely wrong, so you got it way closer.
Woo! That's fucking, we'll take that victory. So I met Nick literally like a day, 2 days ago.
A few days ago. Open mic,
dude. Yeah. Gotta love it. Comedy, fucking, I'm gonna scooch in here. Doing the comedy again, fucking meeting people to fucking get on the podcast. He's officially the second comedian besides me, because I'm always on here, but the fucking
hell yeah,
the dude gets to be the second one officially.
Don't expect to laugh too much.
Yeah, this is serious.
I'm not as funny as he's making me sound. Don't worry.
Well, just dude, I honestly funny that you think that. Like, no, the fucking when people are like, you tell them you're a comedian, and they're like, no, like, tell a joke. I'm like,
yeah.
I hate you, dude.
I hate that so much.
Like, yeah, just let me just fucking, like, what do you want, like a knock joke? Like,
yeah, and then you're like, well, what do you want? One of my 3.5 minute jokes? You're gonna walk away
right,
in
dude.
10 seconds.
Right, you're like, oh, it's not making me laugh immediately? Like, oh, but I guess you're not that funny. Like, we're like, fuck.
It's the hardest thing to, like, tell people, because I work in a bar, and so, like, I'll be in the bar, and some guy will walk up, like, oh, you're the comedy guy, right? I'm like, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what's a good joke you can tell me? And I'm just like, dude, I'm a storyteller. Like,
right, dude, it's not the same.
My jokes aren't 10 seconds. Like, you want to sit down and have a beer? We can tell a joke, but you're not gonna like it. Like,
yeah, dude,
that's the hardest thing to do too, is get people who aren't wanting to listen to comedy, like, who weren't there for it, to pay attention to it.
Oh yeah,
you know. So now you're just talking to some drunk dude who's like, okay, I'm gonna go walk away.
Right, dude. This is not what I want to be doing in my life or time. People don't have they got goldfish attention spans, 7-9 seconds at the most. If you're lucky, if they're got the fucking brain rot, TikTok brain.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why TikTok videos are like 15 seconds, right?
Yeah. So
no one's gonna watch anything. It's funny. I was on the bus coming up here. Man, the city bus is so rough as an adult. I'll tell you what, I forgot it was 2:00. School just got out, and I go right by the high school, and just like 100 kids got on the bus and just filled the bus, and I'm like, oh, I remember being these kids. I'm like, just don't make eye contact with anyone. Don't look at anyone. Dude. Like, they're gonna fuck you up. Just look down at your phone.
The kids, dude, they're fucking...
Dude, when I was a kid, if there was adults on the bus after school, you'd be getting
roasted.
It was open roast sessions.
Damn,
like, we're just going at you.
That's
like,
crazy.
Just because we're little asshole kids, you know. Yeah. But I'm like, I know how these kids operate. Just look at your phone. Don't look at anyone. You know.
That's
and
brutal,
I was listening to one of them, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you, to this little friend? He's like, what the fuck's... And they cuss so much.
Yeah,
what the fuck's wrong with you? What the fuck's wrong with you? He's like, you can't even watch a TikTok video. He's like, I'll send this guy... No, I'll send this guy videos all day, and he might watch one of them. He's like, they're 10 seconds long. And, like, the dude's like, I don't know, I just can't do it. But it's so true. Like, I'm fearing for the younger generation. It's like, soon they're just gonna be like, if it's not a second long and entertaining, I'm not in.
Holy bro, I laughed and then cried and then laughed again. Yeah, that whole...
It's like a perfect example of that. Prime. Like, oh, we really are losing it right now.
Dude, it's the addiction to convenience is killing us. Like, at your fingertips, you could order something on Amazon and have it shipped to you in a day.
Yeah.
Like less than a day maybe, or whatever the fuck, however short it is now. And it's like, that's not good.
No.
It is not good.
That stuff scares me too. I like refuse to buy anything online. I just started using DoorDash like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, like, just because I live in the mountains, was like 2 a.m. I'm like, I'm starving. I got to get something, you know. But the like process of putting my information online scares me so much. Like, credit cards, all of that. But then I think about when I was a kid, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was the first one to put my email on, like, something for a free t-shirt or a ball or something.
Yeah.
So, like, my email has like 30,000 emails from, you know, just whatever. But then I won't buy, like, I won't even go on eBay or like Amazon. Like, I refuse. I won't, like, I don't trust that. But my email's everywhere, which has most of your information
Connected
linked
to
to
it.
it,
Yeah, dude. It's weird, man. It definitely is like, because if you think about how the internet started in the beginning, where it was like only people who like knew how to get on it, like how you had to fucking like understand computers,
Yeah.
and then they just keep making it easier and easier for more and more people to get into it. And then there was like this weird juncture where like before Facebook like took over and became the thing that like everybody like went to, it was like just like a wild fucking west. Or before YouTube got bought by Google, this whole like corporate takeover of like 4 or 5 companies owning the internet and like making sure that if you like push too hard against their fucking like authoritarian boot against your neck, then like they would fucking like cancel you or
Yeah, or you couldn't even make it. You're just buried.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
shadow banned.
Without a couple of those companies like support, you don't come up in any searches. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, and they can just choose to not have you on there too. Like Google will have stuff like that is real, and then when you search for it, it's just not even.
It's like
there's
hard
no
to
information.
find.
There's nothing.
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy.
And you're like, this is like a common thing because like I do trivia once a week, and I write it myself, and I'll be trying to come up with like questions and stuff and simple questions, and I'll Google it, and there'll just be no answer, but it'll be stuff that doesn't have to do with what they're making money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so they're like not promoting it. All the information's buried. You have to go into like chat groups to like find anything.
Yeah, dude, it's what a fucking time to be alive, man. It's like you just like it's the best time ever to be a person, but like it just is there's this like shadow that is just haunting us of just like power is getting so concentrated in hands, and like we need more disruptive like things to like decentralize it again.
It feels like we're getting to an area where there's gonna be like a massive revolt soon. Like the middle and lower classes are getting so separated in America that it's like through history we've seen when that happens, like it doesn't usually end well.
No, it's just violent revolutions.
Yeah, and so it's like just the feeling in the country is getting to that. Like today on like I'm not political at all. I don't know anything. I'm so ignorant, but Facebook has been pushing these live videos on me.
Of
all
what?
week of just this blonde girl talking about
politics,
and she's standing in front of the flag, and she's got a couple people with her. Look, it's like some sort of political thing, but I guess she's just been live for like 2-3 days or something, and she's just going off, and I'm like, I don't even want to know what it's about because I already know it's just it's Facebook pushing their agenda.
Yep.
You're not going to do that for 3 days on Facebook if it's not
yeah,
in conjunction with something that they want.
Pulling the levers.
So I'm like, oh, I don't know, but it's just so weird how it's like getting forced onto us now at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like a long time ago, like not even a long time ago, like 90s, 80s, right before the tech started really jumping off. You could live in bliss with all of the crazy like Watergate stuff and all of the, whatever. There was so much political unrest during those times, but people didn't have it every day forced down their throats. You had to seek it out.
Yeah.
And nowadays you don't even have to look for it. It's just
it's
presented to you anywhere you go.
Well, I think partially it's just the fact of how like it was always that crazy, but like it was hard for people to find out about it. Like they could keep it under wraps, and like you would only hear about it like on the fucking radio or TV because those were the things that existed.
And you kind of had to search for that. Like the TV and the radio wasn't always on back then. You know what I mean? There wasn't podcasts. You didn't have it in your ear at all times. You had to literally go sit in front of either of those things and find what you wanted. You had to tune in. You had to literally tune in.
Fucking adjust the fucking antenna. TVs and shit.
But like you could have lived, back then you could live in a farm town, a small little mountain town like in Santa Cruz or something, and totally have been ignorant to anything going on except for what's going on in your community, just because you would have had to search for it. And nowadays, like, I can't get on the bus without hearing someone talking about what's going on, or going anywhere without having to hear about it. And personally, myself, I've always just believed like government's never really done anything for me. You know what I mean? It's like I still have always had to get up and go to work every day. I've always had to pay rent. I've always had to eat. No one is gonna go in charge and change any of those things. Like
the only thing if I could be the guy to run it, the only thing you would want to do is like dismantle it. it's just so massive and fucking bloated and like
it's all so focused on an income for themselves. You know what I mean? It's a monopoly. It's a game, and it really is such a farce for them to just gain more and more power.
Centralize it.
And they make us focus so hard on it and make it feel so important to us that we don't even notice. You know, it's like people don't even care that like you could change stuff so quickly as a community. You know, like we don't. People have so much more power than what they would think or believe they do because we get told every day we have no power. And it's like we could. That's what all these revolutions are. That's what every change that's ever happened in anywhere in the world has come from, is like the lowest class, littlest people who were told that they couldn't do anything or change anything, realizing that, oh yeah, the ants, you know, it's like the ants have
Bug's
more,
life,
the ants have more power than the grasshoppers, like, and if they find that out, then the grasshoppers are fucked, you know?
Yeah, the lizard people out there are just like shit quaking in their boots because we're just fucking being honest about the reality of it.
When are we gonna find out about that, dude? They keep releasing UFO stuff.
I know.
I keep waiting. I love that kind of stuff. I'm waiting.
You have no idea how much it frustrates me from COVID, just before COVID to like present day, where it was like they literally for like 8 decades were like, if you even utter like the word UFO, you are literally should be locked up in a loony bin, like crazy, to the like the position of like, oh no, here's like official government thing of like this thing flying at fucking thousands of miles an hour, twisting in fucking space. We have no idea how the fuck what it is or why.
We have video of it, but it's not real.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the like
it's the craziest. That's the craziest thing, because I totally believe in that, and I believe that the aliens have contacted and been here, and like, you know, maybe it's not as crazy as we think it is, but I do believe that we can't be the only thing, and I believe we've made contact with like I watch a bunch of these UFO docs, and they always would go to it's a meteorite, it's a weather balloon, it's a this, it's a that, and then I started thinking about like, okay, the documentaries are saying that like tens of thousands of people in cities sometimes are reporting the same things to like their police and everyone in charge, and then they're seeing it for weeks and weeks at a time, sometimes hovering over the city. So how many weather balloons are there? You know what I mean?
Dude, right?
How can you be like, nope, it's just another weather balloon? It's like, how many weather balloons have you seen in your life?
Zero.
You know what I mean?
Literally zero.
Yeah, it's like, what? And then now all of a sudden there's just like 20 of them at one time around, and you're like...
For weeks.
Yeah, like, even that would be strange if that's true.
Right, dude.
Because that doesn't just happen. You don't see that. So I listen to their excuses sometimes on these documentaries that the government would give us, and it's just like, if you really thought about what they were saying, how would you ever believe that? You know?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't get how people, like, the whole lack of a rebellious, like, I'm going to stand up for myself and, like, question authority that people just, like, don't have.
Yeah.
Beyond me, dude. I'm like, you literally must just have been bullied perpetually through your whole life and just allowed it to happen. Like, you're like, I'm a victim, and I'm okay. Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm totally, yep, that's so funny.
Dominate
You've been bullied your whole life into submission.
You're just like, yep, whatever they say, no question it, I agree.
Yeah.
You're correct.
I've never been with that wavelength of thinking. Like, I'm always looking at the contrarian, but that's probably why I do comedy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm always looking at the other side. It doesn't matter, even if I think you're right. I'm like, well, what do these other guys think? Well, how could you even think the other thing? And then, so you know, that's how you come to the realizations with like things like that, where you're like, okay, let me try and think on the government side and see if that would make sense. And then you just keep telling yourselves what they're saying, and you're like, it's just more and more like contradictory lies that they give out
to have to keep weaving, like, to uphold. It's what the fuck did the guy who, like, Hitler's propagandist, he's like, the great lie, if you repeat it enough, becomes the truth, or something like that. Where it's like, you have to have like a centralized like counter narrative to what the actual truth is, and then try to like cover the truth as much as you humanly can. But the genius like spies and people who are in intelligence agencies, they understand that you have to like link them together. Like, if you can put as much truth into the fucking lie as possible, then it's harder and harder for people to be able to actually like separate
apart.
it. Yeah.
It's weird. It's crazy. I mean, just like you said, what a crazy time to be alive.
Yeah, man.
It's like the best time to ever be a human, but it's also just like the craziest, most confusing like time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it's like we're at a point on like from the entire notion of there being like aliens and UFOs and shit, and like the ultimate scientific question is like, how the fuck are they traversing time and space to be able to get here? Because if you can get that level of technology and that energy the way that they have it, it solves every single problem facing humanity like overnight.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to fucking burn fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You can like fucking go places to steal fucking
pollution is like a thing of the past.
Yeah, it's gone.
You know, it's like
no one's starving.
There goes a whole industry, you know, because all of these things too that we focus on and we're worried about and trying to fix, they've all become industry.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much money going into green, keeping things green. Green is probably $1 billion industry. You know what I mean? Like,
billions,
and then every other thing involved with it too. Like, there's so many things that now it's all about the money. And I've always thought this: if the world were to get definitive, like, unquestionable proof of aliens, right? One, I believe a lot of people won't believe it. They still won't believe it. They've been trained so hard to not. Their narrative isn't ever going to change, and they don't care what facts are presented to them. They're just going to be like, no, that's a hoax, that's fake, that's AI, that's something. They're going to come up with something. The other thing to me would be, how wouldn't it be possible to abandon every ideal we have as humans now? Because everything we like predicate our lives on is earthly.
True.
Without any possibilities of going anywhere or changing any of it. But now once that is presented to us as a real life possibility of we can go other places, we don't have to be stuck here doing this thing.
Yep.
Why would you ever go to work again?
Yeah.
Why would you ever pay bills?
Yep.
Why would you like
the whole society
should, in my opinion, crumble. But I believe that first group of people is going to keep it around and not let it, like, because they're going to be so like adamant of their position that they won't let any fact change them.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's like why banks in the government have fought it for as long as they have. Because culturally, you don't have any more control, like as you just said. And then also, I think partially, because every power structure kind of like, they aren't all exactly the same, but like, there's got to be like some way that they all weave together and they all know each other and fucking go around their Illuminati parties or what have you, Diddy parties, and then they fucking like they agree on some notion to keep the secrecy going so that the game and monopoly that they have on the power and freedom, or to take away our freedom, just goes on in perpetuity. But that like spiritually, just the fact that like if aliens were to come here and like make themselves widely known and like without a shadow of a doubt, like it. The problem is humanity needs to undergo a like spiritual awakening, like a maturing of their psyches on like multiple layers of their being. Because if aliens came down and were like, hey, like we exist and we have this like technology, like depending on how they presented themselves, so many, I feel partially not even the denial, but like the just immediate like, oh, these are gods. We have to worship them.
See, I can agree with that. Like that's what I think a lot of ancient culture really was. You know, the whole ancient alien theory or whatever is like maybe they saw these beings or whatever come down, and that's the only way to perceive it. But nowadays, I feel like we just have so much media and so much lore involved in everyday culture that I think the idea of like a new God like that probably I don't think it would take. I don't think it would take. I think people right now, look at religion right now. People are so adamant about their religions that there is no other.
Yeah, but if it was like Jesus, if Jesus alien came down?
If an alien came down, do you think that a hardcore believing Christian would think it's Jesus, or do you think what if it
presented itself as Jesus? Like it literally was like, I'm Jesus again, like
white man with long flowing locks?
Well, I mean,
or is it bald alien with giant eyes saying Jesus?
No. Well, if this is like the beauty of Aliens is that like it opens up this fucking like perfect thing of like if they have the technology to like change our perception of how they look, that like that would literally be like magic to us. So like even if it did look fucking like whatever
like that,
the fuck,
but we see it as like a human.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a trip.
Yeah, man.
That is a trip. Yeah. I'm so glad I smoked weed before this.
Dude, I don't even know how the fuck. I usually have like such a rigid like I gotta start with the fucking question I always start with, but like this is way more fun.
Yeah, no, I love it. That like the whole form of podcasting to me is so fun. Just sitting down with someone and just like talking and seeing where the conversation goes. Like when I was doing, I used to do the radio show for KBCZ in Boulder Creek. Check it out. It was. I always had like a 20-minute interview during the show, and I would never prepare for it, which not a great thing to do.
Yeah.
Like I would look at who the person was, try and get a little info on them, but other than that, I didn't want to know anything because I think the fun of this format is finding out about someone like in person. Yeah. It's almost like going to like get food or like meeting up with a group of friends and like having a new friend in the group, right?
Yep.
And like that's part of the fun of going out that day is being like, oh, we got a new person to find out new stories about and like really talk to and like we just don't do that anymore. We're so stuck behind screens all day and at home. Like the access and the accessibility to things makes it to where we don't have to leave. So you don't see, like, I'll go like 4 days if I don't have an open mic or something without seeing anybody.
Damn, bro.
You know what I mean? And it's just because like life's been set up now. Like you got the Netflix, you got the DoorDash. Like you don't have to go out and buy stuff or go and see anyone anymore. Like luckily, not luckily, but I don't drive. So I get to, anytime I want to go somewhere, I have to see a lot of people on that bus. But you could go days without seeing people, and it's not so uncommon anymore.
Yeah, or like you go to places and you're never actually legitimately connecting with any of the people that you do see. It's all like very surface level, like commerce based interactions.
It's very transactional.
Yeah.
Like a lot of interactions now are just transactional. So that's why I really enjoy this kind of stuff because like now you get to find out about a person, really talk with someone, and like ground yourself again, get new ideas because that's how that works. Like they always say like word of mouth is the best like. Advertisement, right? It's the best way to spread things. That's the fastest. It goes the quickest, faster than the internet. Like people talk more than they're sharing, right? Yep. So it's like without these interactions, we lose that kind of like talking to each other and spreading information and stuff. Like the internet's information is so a lot of the time so biased and also not true. So it's like when you're talking to someone, you can really be like, oh, you're just bullshitting the whole time or whatever. But at least you're still like learning something new about a person. You're getting an interaction. Like I feel like we miss that so much now, and that's why people are so like the anxiety's so high. You know what I mean? It's because it's like you're not forced into situations anymore. Yeah,
dude. I just sometimes like, especially when I go to like do comedy, there is that like teetering balance of like, oh fuck, I'm fucking anxious because I'm putting myself through this thing that of a degree of uncertainty that like so few people regularly like engage in.
Yeah.
Like they're just there's a lot of like it's a lot of like feeling safe and controlled and feeling like you have a level of like control over your life that like people are when you do something that's like goes against that thing and you like shake your own cage a little bit, there's like you're being heroic might be a little fucking egoic to say, but like you're doing shit that like people who lived hundreds or thousands of years ago, like they would just fucking do it because they had to do it.
Had to, yeah. And that was life back then, and nowadays you're like, oh, I guess I'll do it. Like,
indoor cat.
I'll choose to be nervous tonight. You know what I mean? That's really what we're doing. Just like, oh, I haven't felt in a while. I'm gonna go get nervous on stage.
Holy shit, bro. Oh my god, I haven't felt in a while.
So how long have you been doing comedy? Let me ask you some questions.
Oh, dude, you're the best. One of the best. I love when guests are like, it's an actual conversation, and I'm not trying to like pull shit.
Yeah, no, people, bro, it's so I'm curious too.
Yeah, wow. The best way to be interesting is to be interested. unironically.
Confucius said.
Zycon says right now. But yeah, Confucius said, you're right. Fucking, who am I stealing that from?
Dude, I don't know. It's the only philosopher name I know.
All right, valid. Comedy, I think it's been like 9 years technically,
Okay.
but like there's been a shit ton of like, it wasn't like I'm going to like every fucking week and fucking religiously trying to like level my game up. Because part of me is like, I don't really give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would be dope to be able to be like, oh yeah, I would book comedy gigs and go places and make people laugh, but like, I don't want to make it as purely just one thing. Like, I want to be able to like go. It'd be dope to like go to a city and like play some music, fucking make people laugh at that show, or like go do a comedy show, because I'm gonna be doing both at the same time. Like, there's no way I'm not gonna be fucking making people laugh and also playing music.
Yeah. I think those are what some of the best musicians are, the ones that can interact with the crowds.
Yeah.
Like I said, I work in a bar, so we book a lot of bands. I'm always there on the weekends, and I'll see so many bands come in and they just do their sets, kind of, all right, guys, go get drinks. We're taking a break. But then some of them, like the lead singer will be talking with the bassist and the drummer. Everyone's got a mic. They're chatting to people in the crowd. Like, that makes it so much more entertaining.
Yeah, because people feel like they're involved.
Yeah, it's another layer on the show.
Yeah.
You know, the entertainment's there already. You guys are playing music. We're here for that.
Yeah.
But when you can incorporate like just a little bit of conversation or whatever, it makes it like so much different, so much more interesting.
Intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this might be another, I don't know if it's a problem per se, but a hang up that I have of like getting to a point where like there's so many people in the goddamn audience that you literally can't like connect with all of them.
Yeah.
And you're like this fucking like idol thing that's like better than them or fucking above them. Like literally,
You're
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
like,
stage,
you can't avoid that one. You fucking feed my ego. I want to be remembered, right? But yeah, no, I just fucking, I don't know, man. I know there's also like the whole like psychedelic plant medicine aspect to things too in my life. So like I just want to like
that
help
I'm
people.
curious about. Like you were saying, you just got certified to be an ayahuasca like trip guide.
So facilitator is the word I use.
Facilitator.
Fuck man, it's like I don't know. I finished the program like 2 years ago, maybe. 1 or 2 years ago. I finished it before I moved here, so technically like 4. But then like I had to go through their like apprenticeship thing. It basically was just like you do it a bunch and don't get paid. And then I got to the point where I'm like getting paid now. But they're not, people that I work with, they're not shamans. So like they'll tell you like they're not shamans. And I think, not to say that they do that a disservice to the people that come to them, because the people that come to them go there for the fact that it's like marketed as a higher end retreat and you don't even have to leave the country and you're like in a very safe, loving place. But I think that, I don't know, I got a benefit from doing it with them, definitely. And I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you talking if I didn't do it. But
why is that?
Like
what was the?
Well, so like ayahuasca completely helped me change my life.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to a medical professional. I'm not a fucking doctor yet. But yeah, like it's not so much that it presented an alternative viewpoint or the possibility that I had never considered before in my life of like pursuing like being a fucking shaman. Like it was never a thing. Like only when I was in like 3rd grade, when I was like, oh man, like I love the Amazon rainforest. I wish I could go there, but there was nothing more than that on like a kid level of like, well, this would be cool. Go there. But there was, even then, like I feel like my soul was very much like calling me, like you need to go to this
pushing you
place.
Towards that.
But like I was like, how the fuck am I gonna get there? I don't have any money. Like, I'm a little kid. I don't know. But then going to Costa Rica and like meeting and like it just fucking presented it to me and allowed me like see my life in a higher degree of clarity than I had ever before. So I was like, oh, like I want to be able to do this for other people. Like this would be so fucking cool to like have this be a thing that I either like make a living doing or like am involved with on a regular basis. And then like I found the people that I trained with through an email that they randomly sent me while I was at that first one. It was like this whole weird dude. It was
so it almost feels like divine intervention, like it's supposed to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean basically it's because like what happened to even see that email, I had to fuck up getting a COVID test because this was like during peak COVID. And then fuck that up. Had to stay an extra like night in San Jose, Costa Rica, I think it's the capital, and get picked up later. And like while I'm getting picked up, missing the first like day, not like the ceremony days, but just a day of like orientation or whatever, that like at that moment I checked my email and like saw that they in California were doing it. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even have to fucking leave the country, but I wanted to go on the grand adventure. And the kid who like kind of not push me, but like put it in my brain to be like, oh yeah, like I remember these people told me about ayahuasca. They told me not to do it, but like this kid's telling me I should do it, so I'm gonna fucking do it. And he said he would do it. Didn't have a passport, so I'm like, dude, let's go to California.
Yeah.
You don't need one to do
I got
that.
a place we could do
yeah,
it.
and then he just fucking was like, nah. So then I took my cousin, came out here, did a ceremony with them. They were like, hey, do the training. I'm like, fuck, this is exactly what I'm looking for based on the fucking thing of like an opportunity to like, or a way to become involved in this type of work.
Yeah.
And then I did it, and now I'm sitting here.
Huh, what a trip. I'm a pussy, dude. I'm so fucking scared of any psychedelics. Like, I guess weed is technically a psychedelic, right?
Mild, but
a
yeah.
mild one. That's the only thing like I can do. I've never done anything really except for weed and alcohol. Allegedly, hypothetically, I might have moved a little bit of codeine in college, but
maybe.
Other than that, I tried mushrooms last summer for my first time, and I've been just avoiding it for so long. And I grew up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Mushrooms has been a thing for a long time.
Forever.
And so, like, I've always avoided it. Every party I've been to, every time I hung out with friends, went hiking, it's always around. And I'm just like, no, I can't do it. Because I am frightened of seeing things that aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Does your family have a history of schizophrenia?
Not that I know of, but I like the idea of tripping out and being like sitting down, like watching something funny, right? Is what they told us to do. And then in the corner of my eye or something, like out the hallway, something walks or a shadow. The idea of that just freaks me out. Yeah. Freaked me out. But my friend was like, don't worry, we won't let that happen. We won't let that happen. I'm like, I don't know how you're going to control it, but okay.
Okay.
So I just like, okay, let's do it. And we... First of all, dude had COVID, didn't tell anyone.
Oh, rip, dude.
Yeah, didn't tell anyone. And then we ate the mushrooms, and we're like sitting there, and I'm like, I don't really feel it because I smoke.
Well, how much did you take?
I ate a cap and a stem, like maybe like, you know.
So maybe like a gram?
Maybe a gram, maybe.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, an hour goes by, I don't feel it. Well, give me some more. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, give me some more. Because I think it's just because I smoke so much weed. I smoke so much fucking weed.
Could be a little... contributing factor.
I go through like maybe a good half ounce every 2 days. Like I smoke a shit ton of weed.
That is a lot of weed, yeah.
Eat edibles on top. I got some here. We won't put them on camera. They're not a sponsor.
I'm not monetized, so what am I worried about?
Yeah. No, I just thought it was the weed. And so I'm like, give me some more. And they're like, you really should just eat the eighth. And I'm like, no, just give me one more. Do a little bit more. And now I'm starting to feel like kind of warm inside.
True.
And I'm like, okay, I like this. This kind of feels like the first time I smoked weed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now one more.
Yeah.
And so I got another like 2 of them. I think I ended up getting to an eighth in total.
Okay.
And I think because I did it slowly and built up to that eighth, that I never got the hallucinations. I didn't see anything. The only thing that came from it was like maybe like I would look at something and then try and turn my head, but that thing would still be there, and then it would fall. Like my vision was slower than my movements.
Yeah.
So like things were delayed. But other than that, there was no like real trippy colors or nothing came out. It really just felt like smoking weed for the first time, and I was just like, okay, maybe it's not the worst. You know, like maybe this is something that is fun to do, and like I've been getting closer and closer into like maybe I want to try something that I see something now, and like just building that confidence up with it. But I think personally, doing comedy helped me get to a mental spot where I was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna trip out too hard if something happens now. Because before that, it was like no confidence, no ability to be like, I'm gonna handle this nervous situation and I can just get through it. I know I'm gonna get through it. And comedy like gave me both of those kinds of like tools to be like, you do your 5 minutes, you're nervous for 3 of them, and then the last 2 you're like, okay, this is fun. Oh, I don't want to get off stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like mushrooms was kind of like that. It was like, I'm really nervous up front. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. Oh, it's over?
Damn.
It's like, shit.
I should have took more.
Yeah, so I'm leaning like maybe I'm 420 this year that I might dip into a little bit higher dosage of mushrooms or something. We'll see what happens.
So you don't even need to take a higher dosage. I wouldn't recommend. I just say just take the whole eighth in the beginning.
At one time.
Yeah, because it's definitely, I'd imagine, like psychotropically, like if you imagine like a psychedelic journey as the fucking like bell curve, that like if you basically just did a bunch of little like bell curves all together. So, but if you like pushed all those together, because it'd be the same amount of time. Yeah, it would just be like you'd go deeper.
Yeah, because like my buddy ate his whole eighth that night,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm seeing waves, I'm seeing this, and I'm like, I don't see.
I don't see none of that, dude.
And I was kind of getting jealous. And I was like, fuck, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm starting to get into the like. I think it's confidence. Like I needed that confidence in myself and like personally to be able to be like, okay, I think I could try this now. Because like before it'd be like, oh no, dude, I would never do that. Like I think I'd crack or something. Like what if I don't ever come out of it? And like there was just so much worry and all that worry every time I'd be like, that would be my response when people would be like, you want to try? You want to do some too? And I'd say all that, and then they'd just be like, yeah, maybe you don't.
yeah, dude. They're
like they'd take it away from me.
Yeah, they'd be like,
I was like, okay, cool.
Because if they're gonna be responsible for you as the like trip sitter or like the fucking person spirit in the interaction, then they're gonna be like, bro, if you have a shitty time, then I'm gonna have a shitty time.
Yes,
and that's not fun.
And
for
they're
either
definitely
of us.
like every time it was always someone who was like, boom, there goes an eighth. Hey, you want some? And I'm just like, oh my god, peril, and they're like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
No thanks.
See ya.
Have fun with that lifestyle.
Yeah. So I'm pretty glad that I didn't get into it early because like, dude, growing up in these mountains.
How old are you?
30.
Oh yeah, bro, you're good, dude.
Yeah. So I'm glad, like, because in the mountains, like growing up as a kid, dude, I had friends who were doing mushrooms in like 4th, 5th grade.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like just going crazy with it. And so I'm so glad that I didn't ever just try it just to be cool with them.
Yeah.
Like I've always kind of been just this pussy. Like I've been scared, and it was fear that kept me from doing it. But I think the fear like was a good thing early on, and then getting older and older, I was always kind of like, oh, I want to experience what you're experiencing, but the fear was holding me back. And so it's like now that I could kind of like conquer that. And like I said, a lot of that came from just learning how to be on stage, dude. That helped so much in so many different aspects of life. It's so weird.
It's mental resilience, the toughness of
it's like we were saying, like I'm gonna go make myself feel nervous for 10 to 20 minutes tonight, and then I'm gonna feel better about that. Like why is that? Why is it like that?
Oh, it's shit. I probably some random YouTube video of a different podcast that I don't even know the name of, but it's like this thing where it's like it's also an Alan Watts, who's another philosopher, more modern day one. That was like the negative experiences are positive experiences, and the positive experiences are negative experiences. They're like it's also like sort of the theory or the like exposure therapy, things of that nature. That like if you put yourself in the hot water or through the difficult things, and you like prove unequivocally to your subconscious mind, like, hey, like it's not that bad, or like it's worth the pain is worth the pleasure that you get after the fact.
Got it.
Then it kind of changes your entire perception of reality to like, oh hey, like this is good.
Yeah, the psychology of it is so weird. So like you're saying, like if I'm scared to eat ass and then I eat ass every single day for a year, then it'll be a good thing. Like I'll be stoked on it.
You'll definitely have a dirty mouth, but other than that, dude, yeah, I mean, as long as he or she is fucking showering beforehand, fucking, you'll probably be pretty fucking good at it.
You'll probably like it'll change your perception of it though. You'll be like, this is a good thing.
Well, yeah, because
I was scared of ass, and now I love ass.
Dude, yeah, right. My fucking whatever. I'm not a fucking psychologist or a philosopher. I might be a philosopher. I'm not a classically trained one or anything, but like your identity, that like I am whatever thing you put behind that. I do this activity, like I eat ass. Like being able to say that and like repeatedly, and like just over time unwinds the tapestry of who you think that you are, and then fucking folds it together.
Yeah.
into this new story, into this new person, new identity.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know, like jokes aside, my mom always made me think I was afraid of bugs because she was afraid of bugs. So it was always in the house. It was like, oh my god, a bug! No, like get away from it!
Yep.
Don't go kill it! Like we need to get out of here!
Run away!
And she'd get someone else to kill it. So inherently, I would always be like, oh, I fucking hate bugs. I'm scared of bugs. I'm scared of bugs. And then, once you start living on your own, get your own place, you're not living in the greatest spots, and then you have like bugs in your house now. And at first, you're like. For me, it's like the exposure therapy thing. It literally is. It's like I would freak the fuck out. Yep. Anytime like an ant crossed my kitchen or a fly got in because the door was open, I'd just be like, oh my god, oh, someone's got to get it, and like eventually of being like every day for a year of living in the mountains, 2, 3, 4, 5 years go by, and now I'm just like, oh, there's an ant, bink, like I'll touch it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not even a thing anymore. It's so funny, and I've never actually sat down and thought about it, but like, yeah, I like the exposure therapy definitely like helped with like my fear of like, I guess the fears that were put on me.
The social conditioning of your mother's
It was something
fear.
that I could get. Like I had, but then I could get rid of.
Yeah. You can change your mind.
Can change it.
That was actually the first time I ever did San Pedro, which is a different psychedelic plant. But it was that? It's been too many times.
Is that time?
Yeah, but I'm like 1,000% sure. I think it was that time. There's a lot of it was. Yeah, there was like because it's on the same tier of length as LSD. It's like could be 10 to 12 hours, sometimes more. Like I think the first time I did it was literally like I wasn't like tripping balls the whole 20-ish hours, but it was like I was feeling it for like 20 hours. It was very long,
That's
very
a
strong.
Long trip.
Dude, it was literally a whole day.
Holy shit.
It's crazy. Yeah, we started at like 4 a.m. and went.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but like because the whole thing was the closing of the ceremony at 4 in the afternoon, so the ceremony is 12 hours, like 10 or 12 hours, but like you're not totally sober after the 12 hours. Like,
yeah, you're still like
away
feeling
in the glow, it kind of still on it,
trip.
Dude. Yeah, so that time it was very much like this like I can only describe it as like a fucking like cactus hand scraping out the inside of my emotional body. Very much just trying to like, because the people that I trained with, they had described it as like a fucking like spiritual surgeon in a way that like San Pedro was very like gentle and like like a masculine loving grandfather, which I never got as a kid growing up, but that like definitely there's like more gentle like thing that can still radiates, has its like level of intensity, but ayahuasca will like put you on your ass and like sit you down, fucking grandma.
So
smack you around.
Ayahuasca is the one that like you see on like Vice, right? Where they're like throwing up and like in the sweat tents. Is that ayahuasca? Like I'm so confused with. I feel like in the like these psychedelics like that are coming out and being more popular are so old, but they're like new. You know what I mean? To like a lot of people. Like I've never heard about any of this stuff before, and so like. Most of it I've only seen on like through like Vice or YouTube clips or whatever.
Right.
And like what are they all supposed to be spiritual things, or are any of these ever just used as just like fun drugs?
Oh, so yeah, that's the whole set and setting and how like what intentions you go in with it to, or what your like desire is from the experience, kind of like almost influences or has a huge impact on like your experience on it. Like ayahuasca specifically is like this like spiritual sacred, if you treat it that way, because there are people I've heard, and I've never been to one of these things, but it's like people have like ayahuasca raves or something. I can't imagine that they're actually like taking enough to like turn the gravity to 11 and you're like on it, because when you're doing it ceremonially, you like lay down on a mat and you like 6 to 8 hours ish, kind of thing. Very much like a mushroom, sort of similar to like a mushroom journey in the time duration. But this is like the super caveat with every psychedelic that like it doesn't work exactly the same way for every single person, which is kind of the magic of the plants, is that like the intelligence behind it like kind of like checks you out beforehand and like does her whole like calculation as to like what you actually need from that experience.
Interesting.
And I think mushrooms have that. Anything that's like legitimately like an alive living thing before you like process it into like the psychoactive chemical components, I think still keeps that spiritual aspect to it. I don't think there's a spiritual aspect to MDMA. I think you can have spiritual experiences because it like opens your mind and your fucking aura to like, it just makes you feel fucking incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely not like a intelligence behind it the way that there is for like the actual plants. Like,
yeah, it feels like a lot of like these new ones are like you're saying, the way to do it is mostly ceremonial or through some sort of like guided process, but something that has ritual around it.
yeah.
Whereas like, you know, I'm sure maybe weed and stuff was like that before, but nowadays weed and mushrooms is kind of just like pop it at the bar in a chocolate bar or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, like
recreation.
there's no ritual, there's nothing sacred to it anymore.
Yeah.
And like, are there any other psychedelics that are kind of like that, or is it mostly like when you start getting into that kind of drug, it's like, no, we're here for a reason, we're doing this.
It totally depends on who, like,
The person.
yeah. Like if you're going out and like getting MDMA and just doing it at a nightclub and dancing for fucking 6 hours and having a grand old time, then like you're just gonna enjoy that recreational experience. But if you like go and like find a facilitator and like they're like, hey, like set an intention and like figure out what you're trying to work on and like feel your fucking feelings through the fucking MDMA and allow it to like help you resolve whatever trauma you're coming to like try to resolve within yourself. It's this very much like individual, like I'm coming here to try to like do this thing to like heal myself and be more whole as a person. So because like, if you heal, then you can go out and help other people heal, or you just heal by example of like other people see that you're interacting with the world differently and like, oh, like you're not the same kind of like, you don't get pissed off as much as you did, like what the fuck's going on.
Oh, okay, interesting. So there's a lot of like purpose behind these psychedelics that are coming out now that people are finding out about. Like there's purpose behind doing these. It's not just like a real, like no one's gonna take ayahuasca and then go dance like at a club.
Unless they go take like a very small amount, because I can't, like people have told me like it's a thing in New York City, but I've never been. I don't know anyone who's ever done it, and it's like, well, actually, yeah, someone said like at a ceremony also, because people like the whole point and purpose of this thing is like intention and there's a remembering aspect to it, because you're saying like all these things are like thousands of years old.
Yeah.
All of our ancestors, maybe not all, hashtag not all, but like a shit ton of people in the tribal communities would take these like substances ceremonially to like sometimes have orgies, but then like, because I'm thinking of like mushrooms specifically with that shit, but then like, yeah, to like if you'd go to like a shaman and then like they would have a ceremony with people who were like trying to all like get through a similar like experience. Like if there was a war and a shit ton of people died and everyone was grieving the fuck out of it.
Yeah, like a plague or something.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it feels like the world is starting to get, because of all the political unrest and all of like the like neuroses that we're having now as cultures, and like it's just so bad right now for everyone, that I feel like these psychedelics, these kinds of things are starting to become more prevalent to like help counteract that. You know what I mean? Kind of put everyone back into like a comfortable mindset, a livable mindset, instead of just being full of rage and fear all the time, you know.
Angst.
It's like a cultural counteraction, you know. We got way up here, and now all of a sudden, like, you see the subculture just like, oh, we're gonna start doing this and this and this, and like get more into like, it's not all about partying anymore. People aren't going out and going clubbing as much as they used to. Like the younger generations are starting to become more like conscientious now, and I think it has a lot to do with like the rise of like these other kinds of drugs that people are using. It's not all about like doing blow and like meth and crack and stuff. You know, people are way more spiritual now, and people are starting to like tap back into their natural side.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a remembering.
Yeah.
It's like, this is how shit used to be before technology and culture fucking...
And it's like, but it's radiating through to people who have never done it.
Mm-hmm.
Like even me, you know what I mean? Like I've never done a lot of any of that kind of stuff, but I still am feeling like this, like there's something different involved in that culture. It's not the same as like the rave culture in the 90s, or, you know, the party, you know, the drug addicts of the 80s. Like those were all the countercultures to those times, but like This one seems different.
I hope it's better than the hippies, because like they had similar ideals, but they didn't. There was no like figuring out a way. Rubber meets the road.
Not a lot of action.
Yeah, it was just like
that's the one thing that I think that this new culture has over the hippie culture is that they are very willing to do action. Like people are willing to go out there and protest. People are willing to let their voices be heard. And the internet has made everyone start to think that their voice matters. So it's like.
They said I'm recording a podcast.
As we said on a podcast, yeah. But no, it's true. Like everyone has this like ego about them now, and so it's like, it's interesting. It's crazy.
Wild time to be alive.
Wild time to be alive, man.
Dude.
Wild time.
Goddamn, man. So we're damn near at the end. We got like 10 more minutes ish.
Perfect. It's been fun,
dude. It's been great, man. I'm just like. It's weird because it's like there was no like it wasn't an interview. Like normally these
no
are, like,
structure. No, I love it. I got to find out a little about you. Do you have anything going on? You want to do some promo stuff? You got anything going on coming up?
I mean, I'm not. Shit, man. I'm doing a fucking ceremony in May. I'm not like I'm not booked on any shows or anything crazy.
Well, I'll probably have to change that.
Yeah, he's gonna have to change that, dude. Oh so my god, fuck.
I do Monday nights at Abbott Square and Rosie McCann's in Santa Cruz. We have 2 shows at those venues. I'm always there, so anytime that I help host the Abbott Square show, and I help Megan with the Rosie show. So anytime that I'm there, dude, you hit me up and we'll get you on. There's the Blue Lagoon on Tuesdays. Polly runs that one. That's a great show. I run 2 other shows out in the mountains, so if you're ever willing to trek out to
Felton or Felton,
one's in Felton, one's in Ben Lomond.
Okay.
So the Ben Lomond show's at Hemflings.
It's like right up there on the right if you're coming up.
It's literally on Highway 9 on the right side. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
Little old school biker bar. We do that every second and fourth Sunday. So I'm definitely going to need to get you on that.
Yeah, I'll be there because it's not this.
It's not this coming Sunday. It's the next one.
Yeah, the one after that. I'll be at that one.
Cool,
sure.
Awesome. We're going to get you on that one, and then my Felton show that I do. The next one is May 25th. We're booked for that, but that's a bi-monthly show. Definitely going to need to get you on there because the mountain. I have a feeling like the things that you do and what you've experienced in life, like. The mountain's gonna really gravitate towards that. Those mountain folks out there, they're your speed for sure.
Dead, bro. Fucking
for sure.
I'm famous, Mom. Look at me go, dude. I'm like, shit. I don't even know. It's such a weird like love-hate relationship with like being an attention whore. Like, I don't want to be like fucking Bert Kreischer, fucking like somehow oblivious to the fact, or like. Just like, I don't know, shameless? It feels like on the way shameless, that guy.
That's me. I want to be Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer is the reason I got into comedy.
Oh, fuck, it's hilarious.
He's literally the reason I got him, and Bobby Lee are the 2 reasons
dude, I fucking hate Bobby
Those
Lee,
are the 2 reasons. I love them because they're tone setters. They're not the funniest. They're hilarious in my opinion. But, they have people have their opinions on both of those comics, but no matter what, if you like them, don't like them, you cannot deny their presence when they're in the room. Those guys are tone setters. Everyone knows when they're there. Maybe it's not the greatest thing, but if you're going to be doing something where you need eyes on you as far as like comedy or entertainment, that's what I want to be. I don't need the most talent. I just want you to see me.
You just see me, motherfucker. God, dude, that's fucking...
Yeah, those are my guys for sure.
Not my style, but I appreciate that you appreciate that about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've totally, like, when I say that to people, most responses are like, really? Like, no way. I'm not my guys either. But it's like, I can appreciate, too, why people aren't as into them and don't like them that as much. But I really appreciate, like, there's the things that I've found about those 2 comedians specifically that I idolize the way that they do their job. It's just so interesting to me, and it's something that I always felt like I could gravitate towards too and try and be something like that because I'm not talented, you know what I mean?
Don't sell yourself
there's no nothing there. I just gotta be big and loud, and then you guys like me.
And then you guys like me, dude. Yeah, I'm fucking. My inspirations for comedy, I would definitely have been or are George Carlin, Bill Hicks, and Dave Chappelle for sure. Like they're fucking more like Dave Chappelle. I think is probably the funniest out of the 3. I like the older George Carlin and Bill Hicks because there was this like, not to mysticism, but this just like thing of like poking more and more fun at the power structure.
Yeah, they poked the bear. That was their comedy, was poke the bear.
Yeah.
They're the way that those guys write is just so crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to think that like that deep and still make it that funny is one of the hardest things in the world to me. Like,
dude, I know.
I could never imagine writing even a quarter as good of a joke as those guys. Like, bro, their skill in writing is so good.
Yeah. I think I saw an interview with Carlin that was like, I started as a comedian and I was writing jokes, and then eventually I evolved into a writer who was like, right, I don't even know how he fucking said it, but something like that, where he like realized that
he was like a comedian. He went from a comedy writer to a writer that does comedic.
That's funny, something like that.
I believe I've heard that too. But like, it's weird how that transition will come, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, it comes along with finding like your voice. Like there's guys, you know, like the guys who started doing comedy and ended up going into improv acting and becoming like Ben Schwartz. You know what I mean? Like. Mm-hmm. There's just guys out there. He's I feel like
I definitely know that. Like
Ben Schwartz is the guy from Parks and Rec. He was John Raphael.
Oh, fucking he's not the dude with the mustache, is he?
No. He's tall, skinny, curly hair. You'd know him if you saw him. You gotta Google the name.
Yeah, dude.
But he was on Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And but he started as like doing comedy and then found that he found his voice in the improv. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like the same thing, you know. You start writing comedy and then you found your voice writing.
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh, I'm a writer. Like, I can do comedy writing, but I'm a writer. I could write serious. I could do whatever. And you found that from, you know, doing your thing, trying to be funny.
Figuring it out.
And it's just finding your voice on stage. That's what it is, you know. It's the hardest part about comedy. It's finding what you are.
Yep. I think I enjoyed the shit that I was talking about on Monday at Abbott Square a lot.
Yeah.
Like that was like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm like actually, because for me, I care so much more about actually having smooth transitions between the like topics that I'm talking about, so that like my material, there's like a coherence in making sense. You're like, oh, he did this thing to be able to do this next thing, and like having all that like linked up and connected.
Structure.
It's just so much. It's because I think that's legitimately the most impressive thing about comedy to me is that like you can be funny, entertaining for people, but then also like weave it into this like fucking journey that you're going on with them, where they're like, what the fuck, how the fuck do we get here? This is fucking hilarious, but I know we're over here, like what the fuck. Maybe that's just my fucking,
and that's writing, dude. That comes from storytelling and good writing. Like that's, like I'm saying, that's some of the hardest stuff to do. So when you can do that and like you start weaving stories into another and having those good transitions, like it's so impressive. That's something that like I'm like, I just go up there and I'm like, oh, so what do you want to hear next? You know, like
yeah. I mean, oh no, I'm just like, I'm watching the clock and I'm like, I want to fucking talk about this other thing, but I think we just need to like try to like reel it the fuck in.
We will do it again, dude. I'm always available. I'd love to come back. This is very fun.
Bro. You'd be the only person originally I was trying to get through a full year before having anybody back on, but I'm just like, dude, I don't fucking know what the fuck.
I was like, we could sit here and talk for hours. I could literally talk for you for hours. This has been really cool, but no, we can totally wrap it up. I know that we all got stuff to do, places to be.
I only rented it for an hour anyway, but
there you go. We're getting booted.
Out where the fuck people can find your shit.
Or you can find me on Instagram at redroe28 REDROE 28. Nic Trevino on Facebook. You can find me doing comedy in Santa Cruz and in the mountains of Santa Cruz. Also, got a show this Monday, April 21st in Pacific Grove at the Lighthouse Theater. The homie Lemon Pepper Chicken's running that one, so you guys got to come and check that out. It's gonna be a fun show.
Damn, bro, and I really hope I get this out by fucking that day so people fucking check that shit out, bro.
It'll be funny if it's not.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna make it.
It'll be hilarious if it's not.
Yeah, because I'm trying to get ChatGPT to like make some like these like intro things of like basically to get people's attention on TikTok and Instagram and everything, because I've decided to like actually start like paying to advertise this fucking shit to like help it grow.
Nice.
And this intro that's like my logo, and it like does the thing and has like a little countdown, so like every day I'm trying to do like 7 TikTok style things of the episode, and then so people know when the actual episode drops.
That's rad.
I feel like that's supposed to like kind of like maybe I don't fucking know what I'm doing.
No, that's the whole
winging it.
That's the fun of it, though. Is just do what's fun to you. Have fun with it. What do you think's gonna work? And who cares? Who cares what the return is? Like it's fun as long as you're having a good time with it. That's what I always found was like this is cathartic. It's fun. We get to sit here and talk and bullshit. You know.
Yeah.
As long as you're having a good time with it, do whatever's fun. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it.
All we ever need to know. God bless.